the only Steve Blum, everybody. Give it up for him, please.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
There you go, everybody. Give another round of applause for Steve Blum. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Steve Blum. Glad to have you. If you'd like to sit over there, that's perfectly normal.
Oh, that's me. Terrifying. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. Thank you for wasting your time with me here today. Appreciate that.
So, you coming down to the valley? Have you previously been here before?
I have not been in this section before.
This section.
I've been to Corpus and I've been to McAllen. I think that's as close as I've gotten.
It's two of my favorite places.
And I've flown over it a couple times. But
Just look down and see all the little
yeah,
lights.
pretty much. Yeah. Sometimes in a plane.
Well,
Yeah, it's awesome here. I wish I had time to go and explore.
Oh, it's definitely a sight for somebody who hasn't lived here or frequently been here. We have a couple great things, some great food spots, really. Great food spots. So, like I said, we're glad to have you here and to be in your presence for how great you are from the plethora of characters that you have done.
It's been a pretty good run so far. It's a good thing because it's the only thing I know how to do.
Well, we hope it keeps on going for the longest time.
Thank you, I hope so too.
So with you being here, who is Steve Blum as a person?
He's an idiot with a limited skill set. No, I'm just a dude who loves to have fun, and I had many careers before I landed on this one. I wanted to be a musician originally. I was playing in an R&B band during the 80s when everybody else was playing heavy metal and hair bands and stuff, and so that didn't work out real well.
The trend was too high.
Yeah, well, it was just rough. Music business is rough, like every other part of entertainment. And I was the only guy in my band with a job and a truck, so I had to haul all the equipment, pre-sell all the tickets, and pay for all the gigs. And so it sucked. It was terrible. It was fun to play on stage, but for my day job, I had to get a day job to support myself. Of course. And so I started working in a warehouse first, and then ultimately a mailroom for a film company, low-budget film company. We made sci-fi and horror films. There's a company called Empire Entertainment, and we were famous for Reanimator and Ghoulies, and then the Puppet Master movies, and when we became Full Moon ultimately. But when I got that job in the mailroom, the head of the mailroom was casting for a Japanimation show, and everybody in the building was an actor except for me. And he said, hey, I want you to come and try out for this thing. And I said, I have no interest in acting at all. I want to be a musician. I really don't care. And he said, I'll give you a free pizza if you come on a weekend. And I was literally a starving musician, so I went for the pizza, period. I didn't care about anything else, and all my friends were going. So I just showed up on a weekend, and they showed me some footage from the show called The Guyver. And they said, yeah, we need somebody who can do monster voices. And I had the deepest voice in the mailroom, that's why he brought me. And so I just looked at the footage on the screen. He said, can you match that in English? And I said, well, they're monsters. It's not Japanese or English, but do an American version of the monster, whatever that sounds like to you. So I just looked at this creature called a zoonoid who ripped off the arm of another one and beat him with it. And they said, can you do that? And I said, yeah, I can do that. What would that sound like? He goes, all right, you're hired. And I went, what does that mean? What do I do now? He said, well, you're going to record this. We have 26 episodes, so you're going to record this, and we're going to pay you $7 a line. And I said, I don't care about any of that. Can I still have my pizza? That's literally all I wanted was the pizza. So that was the beginning of my career in voiceover. And I just did it for fun. They kept hiring me for different things, mostly for creature voices, but they gave me the main bad guy on that show. And I loved it. I made very little money, but I made some really good friends. Some of them are here at this convention. These are the people at this convention. If you go and see the other voice actors here, they've been part of my life for my whole career. It's amazing to see each other after all this time. It's really cool. So I just loved it. I did anime for fun on the side while I stayed at that same film company. I became an executive at that company. I had a corner office in Hollywood. I was head of marketing. I traveled to the Cannes Film Festival, and I hated my job because everybody in entertainment is so mean.
Yeah.
They're just rude and mean, and it's merciless.
And then I'm sure with all the responsibilities on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was a 6-figure income. I was making good money and stuff, but I hated going to work every day. The only thing that made me happy was doing my little voiceover habit at night and on the weekends. And so I just kept doing it, and then ultimately I quit my job when I booked the voice of 7-Eleven commercials. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was the guy who said, "Oh, thank heaven," at the end of the 7-Eleven commercials. And I thought, this is it. All my friends who are doing commercials are buying houses and cars. And so I booked the job. The union went on strike 2 weeks later, and I was out of work for a year and a half. So I had to get 3 more jobs to support my voiceover habit, and struggled for the next 10 years. But I stuck with it long enough because it made me happy. And now I'm teaching voiceover online at blumstudios.com.
Shout out to that.
But the first thing I tell my students is make whatever you do in life, do the thing that makes you happy, and then do everything else you have to support that. And it's something that's really worked for me in my life. And now I'm here with you guys, and some of the shows and games that I worked on have affected your lives, and the stories you guys tell me have changed me on a cellular level. So thank you guys for watching and playing and giving me something to do.
That's amazing, especially being that, you were living the space cowboy life, technically.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I was in space getting 16 hours of space getting here, and Toonami is on tonight, still going after all these years. So I'll see you guys if you stay up late. We start at midnight. Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
That's amazing. So along with that, give it up for him, give it up. So along with that, being a part of Toonami, especially me, late nights, your voice would come on, you'd do inspirational quotes, you would tell us what next episode was coming out, what new things were happening. How did you learn that? How did that come about?
Toonami was kind of a weird thing. I was doing a lot of anime at the time. The only thing I was doing was anime at the time. And these guys, Jason DeMarco and Sean Akins from the network, it was Cartoon Network at the time, approached me. They called, I don't remember if they called my agent or they called me directly, and they said that they were interested in me possibly for hosting this block of anime on the network. And I knew anime as Japanimation pretty much, so it was like, really? Me? Are you kidding? A host? I have no idea why. I'm not even an actor. And so they said, well, we're doing this convention. I think it was Anime Expo or Comic-Con, one of these conventions. And they said, well, meet us down at the convention. We'd like to buy you a beer and let's talk about this. And again, free beer. So yeah, sure. Okay.
Can't go wrong with free beer and free pizza.
So I was scared to death, and I went and met them, and they turned out to be really chill, cool guys. They love anime. They wanted to bring anime to English-speaking audiences throughout the world, and it was so limited back then. It was VHS tapes that were $85 a piece. Oh, yeah. It was crazy. It was really hard to get dubbed anime. And I said, okay. And I didn't know what I was stepping into. And they said, all you got to do is read these lines. We'll write everything for you. And so I went to the studio and recorded. They were based in Atlanta. I was based in LA, so I was working out of a studio in Hollywood. And they would hook up over the phone or Skype and direct me on all these things. And I did that for years and years and years until finally they trusted me enough to do it from my home studio. So now I'm still recording Toonami every week from my home studio in Hawaii. And I record usually like on a Monday or Tuesday, and it's on the air by Saturday night. So kind of amazing that I can still get to do it after all these years.
Yeah, and especially growing such a relationship with them and trust to be able to, not leave your comfort space, your home,
Yeah, it's all the same people. Sean moved on, one of the creators moved on to do other things, but I still work with Jason DeMarco and Gil Austin, who was part of the mix back then too, and they become family to me. They're my friends. That's amazing. And everybody else at the network too. Of course, they're still family. I go to Atlanta once every year, once every 2 years, and it's like no time has passed at all. Yeah. And those guys, even when Toonami went off the air for several years, we still stayed in touch. And when we got back, after you guys helped us get back, when Toonami returned, they were working for free. And these guys still do it after hours on their own time. It's amazing, the dedication to this, because they love the art form of anime, and they love you guys, and they appreciate you so much. And they're fans. They want this as much as you guys do. So.
And I believe it. They've given us a great catalog.
Yeah.
Of English dubbed animes.
And we'll continue to. They've got a bunch of new stuff coming too. So
that's amazing. So, along being there, and then Naruto came out on Toonami also, along with Cowboy and every other single anime. How was it being Zabuza and Orochimaru? Two great villains.
It was a wonderful experience. I'm still looking for new bodies to take over, so if there are any volunteers. It was awesome. It was amazing working on Naruto. We were on that show for many, many years. Still doing some stuff for Boruto occasionally and some games and things. And got to play Onoki also.
The old guy.
My back! Yeah, I love that dude. And Boruto, he got to do a lot more in Ao, the character Ao in that show. And Zabuza, of course, that whole arc with Haku. It was great. And the director on that show, who was also the director of Cowboy Bebop, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, is now my wife in real life. So
congratulations!
Yeah, we were friends for 25 years. And thank you. Yeah. So I got the girl in the end.
Woo. Yeah. Mr. Spike Spiegel, smooth as a jazz.
Yeah, baby. I love the kind of woman that can kick my. Sorry, I can't say it with all kids.
So Zabuza,
my tushy.
Your other villain that you played, slightly everybody grew a big heart for him towards the end, being that he was willing to die with his partner.
Zabuza, yeah, one of the most glorious deaths.
How did I figured you got super into character during those times because that was a deep episode.
Yeah, well, I was just having this conversation with somebody at my table earlier that we had very little context for anything that we were doing back then. Naruto, I've seen maybe 5 episodes. I've recorded probably 500 episodes, but I've only seen maybe 5. And that was one of the arcs that I do remember because of the connection between Zabuza and Haku and how powerful that was. And Mary was really good at giving me context for just what I needed for that scene. I still never got to watch it back. I saw it in the studio when I recorded it, but I've never seen that scene. But I remember how deeply it hit me. It hit me right in the feels with all the swords in his back and or arrows, I don't remember what it was, but oh my God, and letting Haku go, and it was rough. It was rough. Get attached to these characters sometimes.
And you do. And along with all of us, myself and the fans here right in front of you, I mean, we all just, we love these characters. We find them so personal to us for specific reasons, and certain arcs just give them justice. They do them very well. Now, same with, what characters out of the many you have done, because even there I see you have Samurai Champloo, and that's another personal favorite of mine. Out of all of them, I would say, which is the one that you resonated more to, that you really thoroughly enjoyed?
Dude,
because there's so many great ones.
I love them all for different reasons, and I think that if you don't invest as an actor, if you don't invest yourself in every character individually and spend everything you have on that in the moment, you shouldn't really be doing it. So I love the characters that have a 30-second lifespan. Every stormtrooper I've died as in Star Wars, I connect with that character, and you know, and it's easier too because I don't have to commit to anything. It's like, you there, you know, it's really, it's great.
Next stormtrooper, bring him in.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, there was a running joke. I did 1/3 of the stormtroopers in most of the Star Wars games. There were 3 of us that they liked our voices for stormtroopers
specifically.
So it was always a joke, no matter how it was written in the script. I always crossed it out and wrote in stormtrooper number 3 because I like being number 3. I didn't care to be, you know, the main guy. I just wanted to be a stormtrooper. It was really fun.
Number 3.
So for years and years now, after the games, since we did Star Wars Rebels and I did 3 of the Star Wars movies, every time I played a stormtrooper in the script, I would cross it out and write number 3. So if I sign a stormtrooper for you, I'm going to sign a stormtrooper number 3. It's just kind of a running gag.
So now you know?
Yeah,
so that'll be the hidden Easter egg that you attach to it.
Yeah, but I love all these characters for different reasons. Zeb, because he's Star Wars also. Wolverine has been pretty good to me, bub. Had a good run.
That's Wolverine. He's just a dude that Don't care. He does what he likes.
Yeah,
And he
I'm
still
a mutant,
kick-
I
yeah, he still
stink,
kicks butt.
I have hair all over my back, and you love me anyway.
love me
Back off, pup.
So,
Yeah, Tank Dempsey. I mean, there's so many characters. I have fun with all of them. I try to find something that I love about all of them.
and I can see that. I can see that being the reason why. And so even working with everybody, we saw a great picture posted on Facebook by Reborn Anime. You showed up, gave everybody a hug. Like you said, they're really close friends to you. And you've worked with these people for many years. I mean, it just felt right for you to just run up to them and hug them and everything.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. You know, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to get to do what I do. I'm grateful to be surrounded by the people I am in our community. And when I get to come to places like this too, you know, it's the main reason I like to do this is so I can look you guys in the eye and say thank you for my career, for my life. I'm so grateful for this. And I'm grateful that these shows affect people so profoundly. So, we didn't know when we were recording them.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then
I was working for pizza, dude.
Yeah, doing it all for the pizza, and that's great either way. And especially you taking on all these gigs and you know, being such in a specific slump when you're having to deal with all these things. I mean, that shows power. That shows that through all the bad outcomes, you pushed right through and you kept going. So I could see why you put so much heart into your characters and everything, because regardless in real life, you seem to give it your all.
I do care. I care, people. I care about you. Thank you.
So, as well as for the audience and fans, if you have any questions that you would like to talk or say right now, we have a mic going on up there. If not, I would jump down and run over there too. Do we have any questions from the audience? Anybody want to ask something? Got two.
Here we go.
You guys want to line up right there, please? Look at that, Jack Skellington.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. I know I saw him earlier too, and I just had to tell him.
Wow.
The commitment people put into their cosplays.
Can I say it, carrying that around all day? You guys are amazing.
It shows guts.
I know.
My question is, out of all those characters, who do you think is the most badass or like would win in a fight between all of them?
Oh, that's a
Why is it always about fighting? Why can't we be in love?
I don't know.
Well, they love fighting.
Man, that's a tough one. Some of them fight dirtier than others.
Yeah, they
So,
some have more will than others.
I don't know. How do you guess something like that?
I think
I'm
movie.
gonna say Guillemon. Because he'll digivolve and then he'll just blow you away, even if it's accidentally.
I think Mugen would win because he would just find any way to just fight dirty as possible.
Mugen would win? Yeah, probably. He's a dirty fighter.
Yes, Joker.
Thank you.
One question I'd like to ask, how was it working with the COD community, like for zombies? How were the actors?
Oh, how are the actors to work with?
Yeah.
Well, I only got to work with them once recording because we're such good friends. We were laughing the whole time and trying to crack each other up, and they finally had to separate us and bring us in separately. I love those guys. They're family to me. Just got to see Nolan a couple weeks ago, spoke to Fred 2 days ago, and Tom I haven't spoken to in a little while, but he's still doing okay. It was amazing. The most time we ever spent together were on 2 occasions. After the success of Call of Duty Zombies, we actually made an album. We made a Christmas album called A Very Zombie Christmas, and we got in a lot of trouble because we didn't ask permission from Activision first. And our friend paid to have all these tracks done. We had professional music tracks to sing to, and we sang really badly because we were drunk and I was really sick and we didn't care, but we just made up this ridiculous album. And our friend who produced it put it on iTunes, and we didn't ask permission from Activision, so they sent us a cease and desist order. We got in a lot of trouble, but it was so much fun. If you haven't heard it, look up A Very Zombie Christmas on YouTube, and you can find the individual tracks on there. And we just did it for fun. We were going to donate the money. It wasn't, a big money thing. We just enjoy each other's company so much. It was great. And then the other time that we really saw each other was in the last on-camera sequence when we were saying goodbye. And then it kind of dawned on all of us that we had been doing this for 10 years. And through a generation and a half, maybe even 2 generations of families who had been playing these games. And Tom King, in our interview, started crying, and then we started crying, and it was, oh my God, we didn't realize how amazing that was until that moment. So it was incredible, and I still love it to this day. I love the experiences of working on that game. It was one of the few games also where we got to make stuff up in the booth, and we got to play with them. And the creators of that show were just as sick in the head as we are, so that's why it was as much fun as it was. And they originally just did that as like a little Easter egg. The zombies stuff was really not supposed to be a continuing thing. But you guys loved it so much that we got more work out of it, so thank you. Thanks for splattering cutbacks with me. Appreciate it. Hoorah.
What were your out of Spike and Dempsey, what were your 2 favorite catchphrases to say a lot?
The 2 favorite catchphrases for Spike and Dempsey?
Yeah, like out of those 2, which ones, out of everything you all say, which ones would be your favorite that you love to say a lot?
Well, Spike, I love the kind of woman that can kick my... And for Dempsey, my favorite quote from Dempsey was actually a really old one. I think it was from the first map, maybe. I don't know. I don't play the game, so I have no idea.
Probably from World War War?
Yeah, I don't know. But it was, "You got dead flesh on my new boots!" I love that. I just thought it was funny. It made me laugh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey, hi. One question I really wanted to ask was any major challenges you might have faced becoming a voice actor, and any advice you might have for any upcoming in the field that you might think faces similar challenges?
Any advice on becoming a voice actor? I couldn't hear you very well.
Right, any challenges you faced yourself upcoming?
Oh, challenges I faced?
Yes.
Yeah, oh my God. There were so many challenges that I faced that's why I'm teaching now. It was really hard, honestly. I fell in love with voice acting, but I didn't realize how difficult the business actually is, because I was doing it for fun. I didn't care. So for me, it didn't affect me as much as some people who, that's the only thing they ever want to do in their life. I just did it because it was kind of a fun thing to do. But the challenges for me, actually the worst part of it of all, I lived in LA, and I had to travel to the studios for auditions. And sometimes I'd be in the car for 5 to 6 hours a day, and I'd be working for maybe an hour or 2. And it was just grueling driving in that traffic, sitting in bumper to bumper traffic just to get from session to session. That was probably the worst of it for me. The other thing was, when I booked with my first agent, when I signed with my first agent, I brought her all these anime shows that I was already working on. I paid her, I didn't have to. And I just said, well, I'd like to branch out. I'd like to get into original animation and video games and stuff. And she said, oh, there's really nothing for you. And she wasn't sending me auditions. And I was thinking, did I make a mistake here? Maybe I thought that I was doing okay. I thought I kind of knew what I was doing. And she just said, yeah, I don't know what to do with you. So I sat on her shelf for like 3 years with this contract that I couldn't get out of. And finally, I went to another agency and I auditioned for them. And they said, oh, you've got something completely different. We've never heard this before. Yeah, we want to work with you. And they brought me into the booth and they taught me how to do commercials. My agency is called Arlene Thornton and Associates. And those guys nurtured my career. They actually really helped me to get out there and learn about other things. They sent me to classes. I took one class, but it was like a 6-week class with different directors. I learned how to do commercials. I learned how to do promo. I got better at video games. And they believed in me. I just needed somebody to believe in me. That was it. And to get me in front of casting directors. And finally, once they did, I still had that same sense of fun and play. I was able to keep that. And I think that's what sustained my career for all these years. But it was hard. It was really hard. And going to live auditions also was really difficult for me. I'm inherently shy. You wouldn't know it now, but they kept trying to get me to do on camera. I never wanted to do that. So many, many years ago, I went for this audition for the Mortal Kombat movie. And I was in final callbacks. I made it through 2 rounds of callbacks for the voice of Goro, which was ultimately played by Kevin Michael Richardson. Great choice for that. And I thought I did this great audition, and I was super dramatic and out of breath after I did it. It was stupid. I just sabotaged everything I had just done by being in, this big drama queen. And then I found out that Kevin got it, and I went, oh, okay, he's the right guy anyway. So it was good. And so I had to learn a lot of lessons along the way. And early on too, I was thinking, wow, I really want to be Batman. That's the voice I really want to do. And then I hear Kevin Conroy, and then I get to know Kevin Conroy, and it's like, no, you're my Batman. It's good. So these are the kinds of lessons that I had to learn the hard way through a lot of pain and anxiety and being broke for 2 decades. I just paid off my credit cards like 5 years ago from living on credit cards as a broke voice actor and trying to raise a family. And I'm so grateful for all of it that it gave me a sense of gratitude that I think was one of the most valuable lessons, but I don't necessarily want people to have to go through that much pain for their careers. So I found that moments like this became teaching moments at conventions when people are interested in getting into voice acting. I would try to share some of my experiences and some of the things that helped me get through it. And the people around me finally said, well, why don't you teach? And I said, I don't want to do that. It's hard. And it is hard, and it continues to be really difficult. But I love it, and I don't teach to make money. I have a full staff, and I try to pay them as well as I can, and we're teaching online, and I'm bringing in the best people in the world now. So I taught what I knew in the first 30 classes, and now we've had 52 other classes with some of the best voice actors and directors and engineers and demo producers and dialect experts, all the stuff that I didn't have access to when I was coming up in the business, you now have access to through these classes. So if you are interested in voice acting, go to our website at blumvoxstudios.com, and there's a free master class there, which I would recommend anybody who's interested in voice acting watch that anyway. It's free, there's no obligation, but it'll kind of give you information that we didn't have about how the industry functions and how you can survive in the industry and actually still have a good time in it. But if you are interested in coming in, our next class is going to be on the 19th of September. We just had a class a couple nights ago. And truly, they're some of the greatest voice actors in the world that we bring in. So pretty much you name anybody in your top bucket list of voice actors, we've had them, or we're going to have them. So please check that out. And there's a lot of free resources there too. If you're not ready to join our classes, there's a ton of free resources there too. And we're having a sale right now too that just started. Is Gwen here? Yeah. Started on the 24th, ends on the 30th. And it's 40% off, is that what it is, for the classes? And we're gonna be raising our prices soon. We're building a whole new website and stuff. So if you wanna get in, now would be the time to do it, if you can. If not, there's sales at other times of the year, but we're trying to save people money. I really wanted to keep this affordable for people. That was the other barrier for me, is that when I was coming up, the classes were so expensive, thousands of dollars. And it was one person who was teaching those classes. So if I didn't vibe with that teacher, or I didn't learn what I needed to learn, I felt like this is all the money I have. I can't really spend it. And so we try to keep these classes really affordable and put you in front of the best people in the world where you can ask questions to them live. And so we have a live Q&A for each of our classes too. It's an amazing resource. So yeah, get a chance, check out blumvoxstudios.com or come by my table and we'll tell you guys where you can see the free masterclass. At least do that. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
What do we have up next?
This message brought to you by blumvoxstudios.com. All rights reserved.
Drop the link in the video.
Order now, get a complete set of Ginsu knives guaranteed for life. Sorry, your question?
What type of music do you like?
Oh, I love all music, dude. I grew up in the 70s. I was a teenager during the 70s, so I love all that good old rock. I went to Led Zeppelin concerts. I listened to the Beatles. I taught my kids the Beatles when they were really young, but I listened to everything. I listen to jazz, I listen to classical. Since I've been working with Logic, I've been listening to hip hop. I try to listen to a little bit of everything, and just whatever vibes for me. I've been listening to a lot of Hawaiian music since I lived there, and I'm starting to pick up ukulele now, so yeah, it's fun. I have a different soundtrack going all the time, but I still listen to like the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack in my car sometimes. Yeah, it's great, right? Yeah, whether I had anything to do with it or not, I love that soundtrack. It's awesome. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question. Is there like any voices that you would have liked to voice, like any characters in video games, shows, or go back and like re-voice them?
That's a really great question. Well, early on, like I said, I thought I'd be good for Batman because I thought my natural voice print would be right for that. And it is. It's in the right area. And I got to play Lego Batman. I was the original Lego Batman, so it was non-verbal, but I got to go, oh, ow. And because of that, I got to go buy the Lego Batman action figure and hang it in my studio. That's really all I cared about. This is one of the things that I teach my students also is when you're getting into this kind of work, thinking about the characters that you want to play, know ahead of time, somebody's already played that character, somebody's already currently playing that character. So to put all of your energy into focusing on playing that one thing will completely cut you off from all of the other possibilities that you might be right for. And so I've never really thought in terms of what I haven't played. I concentrate on the characters that I get to play, and I will do my best on auditions. But you know, even if it's something that I think I'm right for, and somebody else is playing it currently, I'll actually call that person. I'll say, why are they sending out auditions for this? You're the right voice for this. And we do that for each other in this community. So I know that may not be the answer you're looking for, but it's really true for me. I don't think about what I haven't played, and I'm really grateful for the ones that I have. And in terms of revoicing characters, I had a little bit of a thought about that when I watched Cowboy Bebop for the first time 2 years ago. I watched it front to back 2 years ago for the first time, and I thought, as I'm watching it for the first few episodes, I'm thinking, oh, wow, I really wish I had done that differently. But it is what it is, and it's kind of my autobiography. It's who I was at the time. It's how I was directed to do the line by my wife. So I'm just trusting that she was right and I am wrong. So it's good. I have no regrets at all about anything, about my struggles, about the choices that I've made for the characters, and the bad choices that I made that hurt people. I've tried to make up for that, but other than that, I really have no regrets at all. But thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for asking.
And that's one way to live. No regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets. Not even one letter.
First of all, what kind of pizza was it? Like, made you convinced to be there?
What kind of pizza?
Yeah, what kind of pizza?
I believe they had, gotta think about this. They had extra cheese.
Ooh.
They had, and it's crabby pizza too. I think it was Domino's. Pepperoni and sausage, and I ate all of it.
Okay, my next question is, I have a friend who was very talented when it comes to voice acting, has all the talent in the world, has done acting, has done being the theater kid and all that, has the tools to do so. Her name's Megan. What advice would you give to her to be able to become a voice actress, and like what to do and what hoops to jump through, or what, just advice in general?
That question is so nebulous that I had to start teaching, so I would honestly, the best thing that I can tell you is to have her watch my masterclass, the free one.
Yeah.
And whether she decides to study with me or somebody else, or if she's not, or if she's at the point where she doesn't need to study, that is going to give her information on how this part of the industry functions, because it's very different from everywhere else in entertainment. I worked in the film business, I worked in the music business. It's very different. So you really have to have a business mind, which I don't have, but I've had to grow a little bit of it in these years, because we are our own best advocates. Even if you have an agent, you have to do the work and kind of bring it to your agent. But the sole piece of advice that I would give her is to enjoy the process, and don't put so much stress on the goal of being rich or famous or anything like that. Enjoy the process of acting for the sake of acting. And I know that she's probably already there because she does theater and other areas of our craft. But in voice acting, it's even more important, because the rejection it'll eat you alive. And so if you are just doing it for fun, there really isn't any rejection, because even in the audition process, which one of my dear friends, Jack Angel, who passed a couple of years ago, he told me when I first signed up my agency, he said that the audition is the job, so enjoy it. And so when I go back to my hotel room tonight and I'm exhausted and I'm going to be recording 10 or 12 auditions tonight in my room and I really don't feel like it, I have to go through the mantra that I don't have to do this, I get to do this. And I think that if you're doing something that you love, you're always going to run into challenges and it's going to be painful and difficult and sometimes just exhausting. You don't feel like it. Sometimes you have to psych yourself up and remind yourself that this is a privilege to get to do this work. And if your friend can keep that mindset before she actually steps in, it's going to serve her really, really well.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Who do we have next? Hello, hello.
Hi.
I'm going to wait for you. So, I have a question, it seems kind of random, but my question is, do you like neckties?
I do like neckties, just not on me.
But what if I had a special necktie that I made just for you?
Can I use it for a different purpose?
Yes.
Because I live in Hawaii, I barely wear pants.
It's multi-purpose.
It's a big
It's
thing for me to wear.
multi-purpose tie.
Okay, I would love that.
I want to give this to you. I made this myself, original design.
Oh my God, yeah, I'll find a place for that.
You get a one-on-one.
Oh my
Get
God.
yourself a one-on-one.
I'll take it off.
Thank you very much. I wanted to.
This is the one-on-one necktie. Now,
Oh my God.
Let's go. Do you mind showing that to the audience, please?
Yes. That is amazing. Oh my God.
Give them a round of applause, everybody. That looks beautiful. Such talent for a tie.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and...
Wow. You're amazing. Thank you. This will go into my new studio. I might. Although in Hawaii, I don't think I really need the heat, but I might. I'll wear it on the cold nights.
Just you and me.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Thank
Well,
you.
now you gave him something to talk to himself with. He's gonna be fighting with Orochimaru. in
Oh
his
my
room.
God. Mary's going to steal this immediately. Oh my, I got to keep this away from the cat.
I'm just going to do the rest of the interview like this. Yes. Next question. Where's Sasuke?
Incredible.
You played Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 11, so I just wanted to know what you thought about what they did to the storyline in Sub-Zero himself.
What I thought about the storyline?
Where they went with it.
Honestly, I don't know the storyline. I know that I rip out a lot of spines. And I know that I freeze people. And that's literally it, because I'm not a gamer, and they give me no context at all. I'm sorry, that probably crushes all of your hopes and dreams. I'm so sorry, but I really don't know. When we're doing a lot of these games, not only do we not know context, sometimes we don't even know the name of the game we're working on. And everything is coded with these crazy names that they come up with, and they purposely don't tell us what's going on. So I just don't know the story. I'm sorry, I'm a bad actor.
Oh, I had one more question. Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Lord of the Rings, yes.
What's your favorite out of the trilogy? Because I wanted to know that.
My favorite.
Out of the trilogy.
Out of the trilogy.
Oh, out of the trilogy? Oh. I don't remember one from the other. I'm really bad at this. I don't know. I don't know. What was the one where, oh God, this is terrible. The Witch King, no, oh God, what is his name? Sauron's, the Mouth of Sauron. The one where he's on the horse. Which one was that from? I don't remember.
Hey, right?
I did for the video game, yeah. So I was so excited to do that because I love that scene. I thought it was terrifying and amazing, and I love that. But I'm so bad with trivia. My wife is a genius at that stuff. You could ask her anything, and she knows Lord of the Rings really well, practically every line from it. So usually when she's on stage with me, I just pass the question over to her because she's like my lifeline. But yeah, I love that trilogy. I love anything to do with Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all of it. I've done lots of works. Yeah. Oh yeah, they love me for the orcs. Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually have 2 questions, if you don't mind.
Yes, I remember you.
When you were on TFP as Starscream, was there ever a time like, my voice is not going to survive this? Because he is over emotional and he does scream a lot. So was there ever a tough time with him?
Actually, Starscream is not hard for me.
Starscream fits right in that place in my throat that feels good.
Except when he screams. And in Transformers Prime, the producers, after the first few episodes, said, we love what you're doing. In fact, we're gonna write more for Starscream because we love it when you do the girly scream. So in Starscream, he'll be talking and he'll be, scared of something, and all of a sudden it's, ah! They love that. And these guys from Hasbro in their suits and ties behind the glass on the other side were saying, make him scream again, make him scream again.
Just torturing you.
Yes, so I was grateful for the extra work, but I suffered as a result. I suffered for my art, and Megatron never appreciated it.
It was the funniest part of the episode, so I'm glad that happened.
That show was so crazy. We got to work with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, Optimus and Megatron, and they're heroes to me, and all of us. And that whole cast was amazingly talented people with huge resumes. And to all of us, when those two started going, we heard Megatron doing whatever his thing was. And then Peter Cullen would step up to the microphone, and he's this really well put together old Hollywood gentleman with a mustache and wore a suit and tie. And he'd come up to the microphone, clear his throat. Hello, how are you? Very, very calm and quiet when he would shake your hand. And he'd go up to the microphone, are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. Transformers, roll out. And everybody in the room would go, oh my God, it's Optimus Prime. And we'd all turn into squeeing 8-year-old fangirls. It was such an amazing room to be in. Oh my God, and it never gets old.
No,
yeah.
Far from it.
Yeah, it was great.
The voice acting on that was incredible, and I do love your new take on Starscream because it was different from G1, which I think is fresh.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
My other question was, do you purposely not watch the original anime when you do dubs so you can put your own twist on your performance?
No, I'm just lazy. Honestly, I am lazy, but I'm also really busy. And so I don't watch them before I record them, and I generally don't watch them after either. I move on to the next thing. And when I was recording anime, I was doing a lot of it, and I was working 3 jobs. So I had no time in raising kids and stuff, so I really had no time to watch that stuff. If I were to do it again, I might have considered trying to watch the anime ahead of time, but usually we didn't have any notice at all. I wouldn't even know what show I was working on, and we wouldn't have the scripts in advance. So even for Cowboy Bebop, I would walk into the studio, they'd hand me a script, and 5 minutes later I'm recording. And I would rely on my director to give me enough context so I could deliver the lines, but I didn't know anything about the rest of the story. It was like my part, my part, my part, this doesn't matter, my part. And we were hoping that the director could pull it all together. So for me, I guess ignorance has been bliss. Now, if I'm working on an original animated show and I do have the benefit of reading the script the night before, I will read the script. And I'll make notes and I'll read all the direction between the lines too. Another piece of advice for aspiring voice actors is when you're auditioning for something, quite often we're given a script where it'll give you all this information between your lines. It'll give you interior, exterior, time of day, proximity to other characters so you know if you're yelling or not, that sort of stuff. I read all of that because it really informs my performance. So I would do that more if I had the time. For anime, it'll never be that because they're always in a big rush. And usually they get the scripts the day before or something. So there are some people who read the manga and they really go deep. Crispin Freeman knows everything about everything anyway. He's one of those guys who really knows what he's doing when he walks in the room. I'm one of those guys who knows nothing. And I'm just grateful I'm grateful I can pull it off. Yeah. So thank you for putting up with me all these years.
Thank you for answering my questions, and thank you to Starscream.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Hi, I don't mean to bring Transformers up again, but do you know what your favorite Starscream quote is?
Oh, God, I don't know if I have a favorite Starscream quote. Probably just when he screams.
Just like
and I think it would probably be like, when he gets into his most ridiculous mode, which is all hail Starscream, when he speaks in the third person, or call me Lord. I love that one too. Call me Lord Starscream. Oh, I'm sorry, Megatron. I'm sorry, Master. Yeah, I just love that. Thank you.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
So, just based on what somebody said before about being Batman, personally, I think that Roger Smith from The Big O is, I think, your interpretation of Batman. So I think it's already been done, I think, to me.
And oddly enough, Roger Craig Smith played Batman.
Yeah,
so weird.
He was real good. Yes, I enjoyed it. I just want to, do you know if there will be, is there been any work towards, say, bringing like a new season of The Big O, since it's ended like, I don't know, like 20 years ago, if anybody's talked about maybe bringing back for a third season?
I am literally the last person who would know. I know nothing ever about, they don't share that with the actors. In fact, if we are given a little piece of information, if I did know that, I would have had to sign what we call an NDA or non-disclosure agreement, which is basically the professional legal art of shutting up. So even if I did know, I'd have to kill you if I told you. And everybody in this room, we don't want that to happen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I might enjoy that though.
Tying in our last question.
Hi.
Hi.
I had two questions, if that's all right.
Sure.
Okay, now the first one is, what drink would you say characterizes a character like Spike and Mugen, like alcoholic drink?
Mugen, probably a combination of drinks. He'd probably do the traditional Japanese combination of drinks, which is sake, beer, and whiskey, all at the same time.
Okay.
Which would explain his movement.
Yeah.
Spike, I think, is probably more like me and be more of a purist and just want a nice shot of scotch. Yeah.
Okay. And the second question is, well, earlier we took a picture of my baby. That was my firstborn. What advice do you have for like a new parent?
Advice for a new parent?
Yeah, since
Oh,
you
wow.
have two sons.
Well, you're doing it right already. You're teaching that kid to be a nerd from the very beginning. Nerds rule the world, so you're already off to a head start. I don't know. I think the best thing I would tell a new parent is make sure that you play with your kids. I think a lot of parents forget how to play. And I rolled around on the floor with my kids. I still do. My kids are in their 30s now. Yeah. But I still roll around on the floor with them. We play, we have the sense of fun and play, and we do everything we can to crack each other up. And I think that laughter and that levity has gotten us through some really, really rough stuff. Because the world is a rough place. And it's rougher now than it's ever been. So I know that you have to be more vigilant as a parent now than we had to be when my kids were growing up. But there's still plenty of room for joy. And I think a lot of people forget how important it is to play. So play with that baby. Just get on the floor and roll around with that baby and laugh and have fun.
Thank you.
All right, and congratulations. Beautiful kiddo.
So with that, any last inspirational sentence you want to leave us with? Any last words you want to leave us with?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for having me here. I didn't know where Harlingen is until a couple of days ago because I looked it up on a map. What a cool place you guys have here. This is so cool. I'm going to try to eat all of your food, so if I do, forgive me. I'll try to leave a little bit of it here. But I just want to say thank you for giving me an amazing career. I would not have a career, I would not have the life that I have unless you guys watched or you played these games and connected with each other. And the greatest thing about this whole career has been feeling like I'm part of this community. I'm so grateful to be part of this community and part of you guys. And the last thing I would just say is thanks for watching Toonami. And my very favorite thing I ever got to say as Tom was, if you fall down 7 times, get up 8. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Steve Blum, give it up for him. We appreciate everybody being here.
See you, Space Cowboy. I'll be back at my table for the rest of the afternoon.
Enjoy yourself, everybody. Have a good one.